There's just the money going out of control.
I think Roxanne finds the financial situation very stressful.
At the end of the month, we look and we're in the negative.
I have a zero balance every week.
We debate back and forth when to start having a family.
Now we put off the children a little bit, only because we need to have some money in the bank.
We're both at a time when we're ready, and we just would like our finances to catch up with us. Oh no!
Money, 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 money.
Our financial issues stem from the fact that we bought our house about a year earlier than we had planned on. Okay, total liabilities. We didn't even have a line of credit before we bought the house. Every time I go into my online banking, it's just staring me in the face.
She's the kind of person that cannot have a zero balance in her account. That freaks her out.
I'm afraid I won't have enough money.
Yes, you.
I'm always broke.
That's me.
I work in business development, and our combined income per year would probably be around $100,000.
I'm worried about unexpected things, because right now we're not really saving any money.
We seem to just keep putting money on credit cards and lines of credit.
She thinks I take too much things on credit.
What have you always wanted but can't afford?
Big screen TV.
I'm always willing to get something when you can pay for it later.
I hate the buy now, pay later. Is there something you need to save for but you're not?
Children.
Waiting for the baby has been an awful thing. We would like to say in the next few months we could start, but the way it's going right now, I have no idea. We need help. We're just finding ourselves a little bit lost and not knowing how to climb out of it.
This month, I'll help this couple move from red to black. I've been solving money problems for over 20 years, tackling everything from high finance to low income. I help people understand money and debt, which is still a huge mystery for most folks. And it's the #1 reason couples split up. So now I'm making house calls.
Buying their home earlier than they planned dropped Roxanne and Shawn $12,000 in debt in just a few months. And Shawn's love of the buy now, pay later is catching up with him. Now they want a baby, and they're worried they can't afford it. So I'm here to help take them from red to black.
Oxley.
Roxanne.
Nice to meet you.
I've seen their bank statements, but you can also learn a few things by taking a little peek around the house.
These people don't eat at home.
Shawn and Roxanne see home ownership as the first step to starting a family. Unfortunately, the house is jeopardizing that goal by adding expenses they didn't anticipate.
Barbecues.
Yes.
Lawnmowers.
Chlorine.
Weed eater. Yes, yeah, everything.
All the hidden costs that nobody ever talks about.
That's right, which we didn't have before, and it's becoming debt.
You know, I have looked through the tapes and I have combed through your finances. I see 3 issues. The first is you are spending more money than you're making. Mm-hmm. The second thing is that there's this whole planner versus spender thing going on. So there's that dynamic between the two of you.
Yes.
It may not be causing a crisis right now, but it's only a matter of time before he spends once too often and you just tear his face off, okay? Okay, so that's not fair. One person shouldn't bear all the burden. And the third thing is the secrecy. I am concerned about the secrecy.
He's completely honest with me. I, on the other hand, let's say I have $1,000 extra, I would much rather not tell him about that.
You know, I am willing to bet there's even more that she didn't tell us about. Okay? That's something you shouldn't have at all. Have you been shopping recently?
Well, yesterday.
You did? Let me guess what you went shopping for. A big screen TV.
Like that?
Yeah. Do you feel pushed?
All the time.
You feel like he's standing behind you, pushing you closer and closer
Yes.
to the cash register, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're a big boy.
I know.
Grow up.
Even the most solid relationship can be affected by money problems. Shawn and Roxanne need to see how their spending habits could create future conflicts.
You're spending way too much cash, and I can't track the cash. Okay? If I asked you what you spent your last $100 on, would you tell me?
Probably not.
Okay. It's not planned spending. It's reactive spending. I'm out of money. I gotta go to the bank. I gotta get the money. So you keep going to the banking machine and you keep pulling $20. This ends up jacking up your banking costs. All right? You're paying way more in banking costs than you should be. She looks like she did a pretty bad job there, didn't she, Shawn? But you're not gonna judge her because when we go to yours, 3rd, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Okay, you skipped a few days here and waited till the 16th to go back. Look at the cash you're spending.
We spend a lot on our entertainment. We like to go out and eat on the weekends. Not drastic, but we eat out a lot, and I know that's a big luxury for us. I know that we spend a lot of money eating out, which we shouldn't.
Between your cash and what I call your miscellaneous consumption, you're spending on stuff. When you total it all up, you're spending $1,300 more than you make every month. The zinger here for you, Shawn, is that in all this information that we have gathered, your beautiful wife has kept $6,000 in income a secret from you.
Oh, smart. Not happy about it, but smart.
I mean, it doesn't feel good to hide. I just thought it would be better for the both of us if I did it.
I was aware that she was saving a lot more money than I was, though. That doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out.
Okay. Sadly, if you continue at this rate with your existing debt level and the shortfall that you have in your budget right now, in 5 years, you'll be $82,000 in the hole.
Wow.
Debt? Baby? You choose.
Fair enough.
Definitely want baby.
Okay. So we're going to do some things differently. Get you back in touch with your money.
Roxanne and Shawn desperately want to be parents, but first they're going to have to deal with their financial issues. So this month they're going to learn to live on cash, do some challenges, and if they're successful, I'll give them $5,000.
What I'm going to ask you to do over the next 4 weeks is not going to be easy. I need your commitment to follow through to the end. So do I have your promise?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go.
Coming up, Shawn and Roxanne get an eye-opening preview of parenthood.
Money, money, money.
Shawn and Roxanne have lost control of their spending.
If I asked you what you spent your last $100 on, could you tell me?
Probably not.
After quickly racking up $12,000 in debt, they're a bit overwhelmed at the expense of owning their first home.
You're spending $1,300 more than you make every month.
Now we have hydro, gas, water, insurance.
And their dream of starting a family is in jeopardy.
We need to have some money in the bank.
So I'm here to help them get into the black.
Let's go.
For the next month, this couple will learn to live on a strict cash budget. No more credit cards. They'll complete weekly challenges to tackle their money and relationship issues. And if they're willing to change, I'll reward them with thousands of dollars. No changes, no money.
You have to go and get me your credit cards and your debit cards. Hand them over.
Really?
Scram. I'm gonna hide them in the kitchen because you never use this room anyway. Okay, so the likelihood of you finding them here is zilch. Okay, go away.
Okay.
Roxanne and Shawn already live mostly on cash. The problem is they keep going back to the banking machine, and they're not keeping track of what they're spending.
In these jars is the money that you can spend this month. Less the $1,300 you're overspending.
Okay.
The problem with cash is you can't keep track of it. So here we have the budget binder. And in the budget binder we have categories, and you can write down everything you spend. And each of these jars contains the money from your budget that will cover those categories. Now this jar I have a very special use for. This is going to be involved in your first task. So come with me and I'll tell you what that's all about.
If these two want to start a family, then there's another big dose of financial reality they're going to have to face.
So your first task is to research what it's going to cost to have a baby. Go out and price things you're going to need. All the pieces of having a baby and what it costs. Your second task, and this is going to be tough. If you go off of maternity leave, you will be making about $1,300 less a month as a family. You're going to live on your mat leave benefits for the next month. You have to trim another $1,300 out of your spending.
Wow.
Happily, you have this jar. You're going to take the money that you're not allowed to spend because you're now on mat leave benefits, and you're going to stick it in your baby savings jar. Okay?
This is a great way to plan for a baby. Live on a reduced budget and put the rest away for the things a baby's gonna need. To give Roxanne and Shawn a further taste of reality, the next morning I left a little something on their doorstep.
I think we have a new challenge, Roxanne.
I've given them a baby training doll with all the same demands as a real live baby.
Oh no.
They'll have to take this bundle of joy with them as they attempt their first challenge.
Health and beauty first. Oh no, don't cry, baby, don't cry. That's not what it wants. This isn't gonna look weird at all.
Let's just leave it naked.
Aha, needed a change.
Diaper disposal, door latches.
Car seats. Can we go down this aisle? We don't have shoes.
Did you bring your credit card?
I don't have a credit card.
Has baby think it over made you think it over?
I think we both realized kind of how ready we are for it. It seemed kind of natural.
Tell me about your tasks. How did you do with that?
We bought a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
And I researched everything else that we needed, and I think I have a pretty good list, and I have a pretty good indication of what it will cost for the first year.
Okay, so how did the rest of the week go?
It was kind of boring. Surprised how much reading you can do. Actually, it wasn't that hard. You know, if you just bear down a little bit, it's not that difficult to save money.
What did we manage to build the baby jar up to?
For week one, we put away $320.
That's excellent. Good for you.
Now that I've got Roxanne and Shawn headed in the right direction, it's time to tackle the buy now, pay later issue.
This is your latest buy now, pay later.
Yes.
Do you have the money to pay later?
Well, not this month, we don't. But
Okay, so what do you get charged in interest every month?
I assume it's similar to a credit card. I guessed around 18 or 19.
Okay, because the interest rate is 28.9%. I want to hear you say, I, Shawn, swear no more buy now, pay later.
Okay, I swear, no more buy now, pay later.
Excellent. We're making progress. So how are you going to find the money to pay this off? Oh, I know. Your task this week is to go and find $100 a week. Get creative. Find a really neat way of getting some more income to do this.
Coming up, Shawn digs deep to come up with some extra money.
Please make sure Gail sees this because I have a bone to pick with him.
Money, money, money.
On disciplined spending, had Shawn and Roxanne headed for trouble.
In 5 years, you'll be $82,000 in the hole. Wow.
Shawn has a weakness for buy now, pay later plans.
That's a good thing for me because I know in 15 months, our financial position will only be better.
He keeps saying, I'll be doing better next year, but that hasn't always been the case as we go on.
So I'm assigning challenges to confront their spending habits.
No more buy now, pay later.
No more buy now, pay later.
Excellent.
If they're successful, I'll give them up to $5,000. Shawn's next challenge is to find some extra money to pay for their computer, his latest buy now, pay later purchase.
Gail gave us the task of trying to make an extra $100 this week. I met Terry when I was looking for a dog recently, and she needed a couple of holes drilled in her house. So I'm going to core drill a couple of holes in the side of her house underneath her patio. and make myself $100. Please make sure Gail sees this because I have a bone to pick with her. I'd rather stay up all night with a baby, I think, than doing this again. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
There you go, Gail. $100. It was so easy, too.
So here I am, and I hear you have a bone to pick with me.
Yeah, the job I did on the weekend for the thing was pretty harsh.
But you did it, which was the important thing. You're going to keep it up?
Yeah, sure.
Good. So moving forward, tell me again about some of the things that you want to get for yourselves in the next 12 months to 18 months.
I wouldn't mind a dining room set at some point, sometime maybe going on a trip, but that's down the road. We're willing to put that off for a couple of years. But
Okay. So you have some things that you want particularly? Because she's been quite happy to ream off her list.
We all know about the big screen TV.
Big screen
so
TV.
That's pretty much.
Is that pretty well where you are now?
That's about it, yeah.
Okay.
Shawn and Roxanne are still doing a great job building up cash in the baby jar, but it has meant sacrificing most of their social life.
So do you have some things that sort of set your eye on in terms of the things that you want? And you kind of wish that you were doing a little bit more with your friends. So guess what? For your third task, I have a way of taking care of all of these things at once.
I'm apprehensive.
Apprehensive? You think I would do something bad to you?
Look at last week.
I want you to invite some friends over. And I want you each to choose an item that you want. And I want you to debate in front of your friends why you should have that as the next purchase in the house. And your friends get to decide.
In the past, Roxanne has often felt pushed into purchases. This levels the playing field.
I want a new dining room set.
My reasons for choosing a big screen TV. I mean, I love Roxanne, but I think a dining room can wait.
We like to have parties. We like to make food for our friends. But you'd obviously be the first ones invited.
Super Bowl parties, Oscar parties for the women, right? Mike, playoffs, Mike. Open invitation for you and all your friends all during the playoffs, okay? So if I get my big screen TV, guys, I'm throwing a Super Bowl party and I'm buying a keg, if not 2 kegs, okay?
The squeak hinders games, dinners, and look at that.
Oh, and you have poker.
Poker.
So summing it up, vote for the big screen TV, get a keg.
Coming up, a show of hands decides the outcome.
Money, 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 money.
Owning their first home has been a little more than Roxanne and Shawn bargained for.
After you get into a house, there's so many things that you want to buy.
Now we have hydro, gas, water, insurance.
Their undisciplined spending and newfound debt have forced them to put off starting a family.
I'm ready, Sean's ready. So it's really frustrating.
So they've been living on cash and working on challenges designed to control their spending and help them plan for the future. If they're successful, I'll give them a check for up to $5,000. Their last assignment is to make a case to their friends about their next big-ticket purchase for the house. Shawn is still chasing the big screen TV dream, and Roxanne wants dining room furniture. But who made the most convincing case?
That's true.
Okay, so now you get to vote. So who votes for the dining room set? Okay, then.
So who votes for the big screen TV?
TV? No.
Thank you guys. You guys are the best. Well, I'm happy with the decision, obviously. I would have been happy either way.
We don't know that yet.
I want to talk about how you felt through the whole process now. We've done this for a month. What have you learned? How do you feel about the last month?
It's amazing how much money we still have left over. I can't get over it.
Tell me the most important lesson you learned, Shawn. Oh boy, you better pass this test.
I'm assuming it's no more buy now.
Yay!
Later.
Okay, I'm so impressed with how you've pulled together. And while you weren't in deep, deep trouble, you were heading there because you were spending more than you were making. And I think I predicted that if you kept on track, you were going to end up $82,000 in the hole at the end of 5 years. Happily, we stemmed that flow. You lived on a really tough budget, but you found out that you have the room to do some big goal setting now.
Surprised me that I was able to live on so little money and how much I've actually learned about finances.
Paying with cash seemed to really help too. You really hold on to that cash a lot more than you do if it's in a bank account.
So I have something for you. As I promised, if you did what I said, I would give you some money. And I have for you a check for the full $5,000.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This month, Roxanne and Shawn have taken control of their spending. They've learned to plan for and communicate about the things they want, and have created a solid roadmap for the future.
So you take that, because I also have another surprise for you. I know the two of you have never been on a vacation together. So I have for you a mini vacation in honeymoon heaven, Niagara Falls.
Great.
And I want you to go away and make a baby.
Thank you.
You're welcome.